Thanks for joining us on the show. I'm so glad to have Collins Horton with me. He is originally from Mississippi, came to Nashville. He has been here a relatively short amount of time and has had an incredible journey so far. He's a singer-songwriter, and I am so glad to have him here. Welcome,
Thank you
Collins.
so much, Julie. It is really great to be here.
And I
Yeah,
can't wait to hear some of your story because
there's some interesting
it's
parts.
been
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, the little bit that I know about kind of what's happened since you've been in Nashville
Mm-hmm.
is pretty phenomenal because, they call it a 10-year town and all the
Mm-hmm.
things, and not that you're not still striving and doing things, but you've had some, I think, great opportunities.
I've been very fortunate, been very blessed. I've had lot of big moments, big opportunities that I never would have expected come at me fairly, fairly quick, and yeah, I'm very humbled by it because I'm still just in awe every time I go out in Nashville at the absolute talent in this town, and to
Right.
feel like I'm earning a place among it is means something to me. It really does. When you have people you admire and look up to saying you're doing great, keep doing the right things, kind of encouraging you, it means the world to me. 'Cause
That's
I
awesome.
think we all want to feel like we belong. We want to stand out, but we also want to feel like we're part of that fabric, and so that means the most to me, it really does.
I love that.
Yeah,
I continue to be amazed. I've only been here 5 years, so I haven't been here that much
about the
longer.
same, yeah.
Yeah, and I tell you, I'm totally amazed at the sense of community and the as you take those steps out there, and we can talk more about your faith and all of that, but when we take those steps of faith and we show up, whatever it is,
Mm,
and then just the different people, and even the people that I've realized, I was doing a little bit of research, and the people that I realized that you and I both know and have in common, I'm like, it's crazy how I've met those people,
mhm.
and then how I saw you playing out and reached out. And so it's just a fabulous community,
It
and
is.
it can be intimidating, but I also think that people I haven't met anyone who's not welcoming and
Mm.
just says, "Hey, come on in. Bring it."
The more I've learned this, the more I've talked to other artists, songwriters that we're all out here, we're all dreamers, we're all chasing something bigger than
Mhm.
ourselves. And that takes you being very vulnerable to do that. And I think because we've all felt that,
Mhm.
we're a lot more welcoming and kind of open arm than a lot of communities would be because we understand how vulnerably, emotionally, and especially when you're a songwriter and performing your own stuff. I mean, you're kind of bearing your guts and telling your story. And that's a really vulnerable spot. And so it feels like a very safe place to do that. And then within the greater community, you kind of, as they call it, find your tribe, like your people that um, rising tides float all ships. Like you work with each other, you help and you support each other, and that's really cool to be a part of that. But in my opinion, I think I've talked to people that have had some great experiences in 10 plus years. Some people that had a not so good experience in Nashville. I think you never really know, but I think the more you put into it, the more it's going to give you in return. But you have to do it from a selfless place. And I think a lot of people, we're all here to be seen and be kind of front and center, but knowing when to step back and push others ahead of yourself because they deserve that spotlight, or you're proud of it and supportive of it. And that's what certainly what I try to do, among all my friends and the other songwriters is be as supportive of them as they have been of me. And if we do that, then, we all kind of win, you know?
I think that's wise, and
Yeah.
it is wise.
Well, we
We were talking
open
about wisdom a minute ago,
I think we open
but that
doors for each
is.
other,
Yeah.
Somebody gets it cracked and then it's like, "Hey, I know some really
Yeah.
great people you need to take a look at." And that's kinda how we all go together, and they kinda say we all have graduating classes,
Mhm.
like from when you moved to Nashville, how far along in your journey. And I think there's something really cool about that because I see almost 5 years in, people that are, you know, outpacing me. People are about the same level as far as
Mhm.
where I feel like I am. People that are behind, but we're all just still out there really trying to build each other up and support those that are ahead of you. And not, it's easy in this town to be in that comparative mindset and just like, where are
True.
you among your peers? And I think that's just absolutely toxic thought. And I wrestle with it all the time. and I think a lot of people do. The imposter syndrome
I
is
was
real.
ju I was just
Oh,
gonna say
I
the
go,
imposter syndrome. Yep, that's a biggie too.
yeah,
Comparison and imposter syndrome are just they can beat you down.
they will beat you down into some dark places, make you question
Okay,
yourself. Yeah.
so since you went there, what helps you with that? Like
It,
when you
it,
go, "Oh my god," when you recognize, because I think we also have to
yeah,
go, "Oh, I have to recognize that I'm kind of falling into comparison today. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a down day or
yeah,
maybe something didn't come through."
yeah.
What does that look like for you when you get in those moments? What do you do?
I think step one is you have to identify that's the moment you're
Mm,
in. It's the
mhm.
headspace you're in, and when you've once you identify it, it's easy to identify when you're in it. And so I try to, I know this kind of sounds maybe a little cheesy, but I mean, try to do something for somebody else. Just try to give in that moment of kind of selfishness, which is what comparison is. You're prideful. Try to give to others, whether it be support or whatever. And I do. I mean, I'm a man of faith, so I definitely pray. Like when I'm in those dark kind of moments, it's like, God, I know I feel like I'm here. You keep opening doors for me. I could use a door, today. I could definitely handle a little daylight and get to see something come together. And it seems like inevitably, I get a phone call or a message about an opportunity to play here. Maybe it's somewhere I've never played, a really big stage, rounds I've never gotten to play. So I think of all those as wins, as God just going, no, you're on the right path, and just breadcrumbing you along, and just keep trusting it, keep following it, and I'm gonna keep opening doors when they're ready to be open. And that's kind of how I try to approach it. And so when I get in that comparative mindset, to me, it's like, all right, I've got to get back to my faith and really let
Yeah.
that lead. Because now, for whatever reason, I feel that's when it interjects. That's the enemy speaking. Trying to make you doubt,
Yep.
and that's why I think a lot of people quit. Is it's a mental toughness that if you don't have it, you'll develop it. If you do have it, then you're gonna have a lot easier time in this town. And I would say just mental toughness has definitely been something I've really worked on the last 4.5 years since
Mhm.
I came here from a really broken spot.
Mm.
So there's been a lot of rebuilding in those 4.5 years. And now I'm starting to kind of see some of the fruits of that effort in the right areas. And
That's awesome.
and then so I don't think God necessarily rewards you for good behavior, or doing the right thing. But I do think when you're truly on your path, He's going to let you know in His
I
ways, and
like that.
kind of,
That's
you
a
know,
good way to put it.
yeah, kind of let you just give that little nudge, that unexpected phone call of a once in a lifetime opportunity, or your
Mhm.
first debut at the Bluebird. The day I got that text. Now, I'd gone through a really kind of bad spot. Like I was just in kind of one of those mindsets, and I get a text message from a buddy of mine, Greg Wilson. He said, "Man, I've seen you working your butt off out there." And he said, "I'm hosting around the Bluebird. I would love for you to join me." And it was just like, here's one of those moments like, all right, let's just keep doing this thing.
Wow.
And so, yeah, so it's fun. You never know what every day is going to have in store for you. It could be the day you get the call about a stage you've been trying to play. Lord willing, one day I'll get the call that somebody big's cutting one of my songs, or a publisher deal or whatever. You just never know. You just got to keep showing up and putting your best out there. And, as they say, wait your turn.
Mm. That's a good word, like all of what you just said, because I think we can get so caught up. A friend and I talk, we'll tell each other, you're kind of buffering on that. Like you're sitting in it and you're just letting it bring you down
That's I love
instead
that
of just
buffering. Yeah.
like do something to disrupt it.
Yep.
And I don't think it's cheesy at all. I tell people sometimes, hey, go when you don't know anything else to do, go do something for somebody.
Mhm.
Because we think, or at least my experiences, if I go do something for somebody else and go help someone, right? I think, oh, I'm going to help them.
Mhm.
And I end up feeling way more helped and healed and whatever
Yeah.
else because I showed up and did it for somebody else. And I'm always surprised by it, and it's a pleasant surprise, and then I feel really stupid cuz I'm like, why do I continue to be
Yeah.
surprised? I mean, this is kind of,
Mhm.
and as you said, it's not, it's such a fine line because I'm with you. I don't think it's God rewards us if it's not a like if then. If I do this,
Yeah.
then God's going to, but it's a if I'm obedient and I just keep taking the next step, trusting him, there's going to be stuff that happens
There
that's just amazing and
yeah.
I just need to sit there and be grateful.
And there's nothing you can do to destroy that path either,
Yeah.
which is what's so beautiful about it. Because
Yep.
it's, he's gone before us, as it says, and so it's just learning to trust it. And like
Mhm.
there's going to be the bumps and the bruises along the way, the lows, the highs. Buddy of mine, CJ Field, had a great way of putting it. He said, "Man, I've always just been a believer in like don't celebrate the highs too high, and don't let the lows get too low. Just
Oh, love
find a
that.
balance. So don't let it be those big swings. Soften those swings. So when it's good,
Mhm.
enjoy it, celebrate it, but just know it's not going to last forever. And there's another low inevitably ahead. And so you don't let the highs get too high and the lows get too low. And then if you do that, I think that's back to like the mental toughness of just learning to go, this is good now and I'm going to enjoy this. But I know there's some more rough roads ahead, and we're going to have moments where we're
Mhm.
contemplating wanting to quit or getting your head full of doubt. And I find it funny too, while you were just speaking, the thought that, isn't it funny how when it comes to like comparing ourselves to others, it's very seldom do we do that in a positive manner. Because like if
Oh,
I looked and go, look
totally.
where I am and look where this person is, and I've had a lot more opportunities than this person, and that's not braggadocious. It's just I'm very fortunate. I'm
Mhm.
very blessed to have had the
Mhm.
opportunities I've had, and let that be, being content with where you are and finding that. Um, I feel like I feel that the most. There's moments where I think I kind of feel like I'm not falling out of love with music, but when you kind of make it part of a business
Mhm.
that you're trying to grow in a brand, it kind of comes like work sometimes. And so the nights I had one a couple of weeks ago where went to my favorite places, go to the local and just listen to my friends play and get tucked away in a corner and just not talk, not really be there to talk, socialize, just to go listen
Mhm.
and fall in love with music again. Because I'm gonna hear songs and I'm like, "Ah, I wish I wrote that, or that's a really brilliant idea." And I always walk out with a pocket full of ideas for songs and just feel like I've been replenished in my love for creating and like other creators. And and I've learned I've got to have a balance of that in my life. I'm a big hunter and outdoorsman. I got to have my quiet. I got to get away from the noise, and so finding that balance, I think, is very important. Kind of in anybody's path, is you got to manage all of this because
Mhm.
it's an emotional, just chaotic roller coaster,
Yes.
and it'll drive you crazy.
Well, I love that you found
It
I
will
love
drive
that
you
you know your
crazy.
balance.
I'm
I
learning
love that
them.
you know
Yeah,
what you need.
uh,
Like,
yeah.
um, I met with some creatives last night and we all have different things going on, but we decided to all get together, just kind of brainstorm and the common theme, and I think I just heard it in you. It's like when you're doing the creating and you're in the moment, it's like, gosh, this is so good. This is what I was created for, and I love
Hmm.
it, and I'm living in it. And then you got to do the marketing, and then you got to show up, you got to do the business side,
Hmm.
and people don't necessarily realize that most independent creatives, songwriters, artists, they're doing it all. And it's not not everybody has a team. Not
Yeah,
that it's not joyful and we don't love it, but there are some things like out of my giftedness that I do and I'm just like, "Oh, this is killing me. I can't do
absolutely.
it again."
Yeah,
And then I go, "But you have to."
yeah.
So anyway, it was refreshing to sit there and talk through things and know that okay, I'm not alone. These other people are going through the same
Mhm.
thing. But to hear you talk about go and just you didn't go to network, you didn't go to meet other people,
Mm.
you just went and you sat there and you watched your friends and just took in all the music. I love that.
And it just, yeah, it
That's a
just
great
it
idea.
feeds my soul. It really does.
Mhm.
Or, buy a ticket to the Bluebird and go by yourself. Listening room. When I first moved here, my family gifted me a gift card. I think it was like around $100 for listening room, which is a lot of money because they're
I
10,
love that.
$15 a show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when the first time I went in the listening room, I was just blown away at the talent. And And I remember walking out just on such a, high of just going, man, this is my community. Like I
Mm.
love music. I love songwriting. And to be knowing that I'm about to dive into this is going to be so exciting. And then I also walked out going, you've got a lot of work to do. Like they're so far ahead of you and their songwriting and their talents. Like you got to get good and you got to
Mhm.
get better. And
Mhm.
so when I do go out, I'm always taking notes. I mean, I learn from everybody around me. Most people say I'm a pretty laid back guy. I'm I love to talk to people. In
Mhm.
bars, I have a hard time because I feel like there's so much stimulus. I can't
Mhm.
have a
Mhm.
good conversation. And so I a lot of times kind of just sit back and enjoy and just kind of observe and because I'm just always thirsty to learn to get better because the way somebody sets up a song. I think there's a whole art in just the story
Oh
before the
gosh, isn't
song.
that true?
I was talking to a buddy of mine, Kyle Whitaker, about that on the way here. We were just catching up, and he's playing a solo show 1 hour. We were just kind of talking through his set, but I was like, there is a craft in the story,
Mhm.
because you want to engage the people, but you can't be too long winded with it. It's kind of like the
Right.
song. You want to get on the
Right.
page and get off,
Yeah.
say the things you need to say.
Yep.
And so I think you have to fill out the story that goes with the song and
Mhm.
what the crowd seems to vibe the best with. And so there's just so many different aspects to learn in this crazy thing.
That's a whole art too.
I mean, your guitar
Reading the
playing,
room.
melodic,
Yep.
melodies, lyrics, the way people are bringing in hooks, and just all the craziness. There's so much to learn, and yeah, just I've told several people that kind of came up to me for whatever reason. It's like, hey, I'm brand new to Nashville, like your music. Do you have any advice for me? I was that guy. When I first
Yeah.
moved here, like I'll take any advice
Yeah.
anybody's willing to give. And I tell them the same thing. I was like, just learn to just listen.
Mm.
Make sure you have time to listen. And if you do, learn. And I,
That's great
I
advice.
attribute any and all of, growth in my writing to the people around me because every room I was in, I was learning something. As much as I was contributing, I was taking something away. And I think if everybody goes in a room with that mindset, then everybody wins. Whether it's a brilliant song or not, everybody gained knowledge.
Yeah.
And so it's not walking away, well, we didn't, not the greatest song, but did you learn something? If you did, you, you walked away with something. And
It's funny. Every workshop, songwriting workshop I've been to, I hear at least one person through the entire, whether it's a day long or a couple of days. The emphasis is on the message over and over is, walk in that room with your ideas and ready to serve the other people in the
mm,
room. Come in, don't have, like lose your attitude and your
yeah, check
um
your ego,
check your
especially.
ego
Yeah.
at the door, like walk in there ready to be part
Yeah.
of that whole room.
That's so
And
true.
I love
Yeah,
that.
it is. You don't know somebody else told me something very similar. It's like learning to wear the different hats and when to wear them. Some days you're the melody guy. Some days you
Like
might
that.
be the guitar guy. Some days you might just have lyrics flooding out of you. Some days you're the idea guy. Some days you're the guy that just makes sure everybody has a cup of coffee and you just stay out of their way.
Okay, I love
I
that.
mean, because some days you're on, some days
Yeah.
you're off. And some days when you're off, it's the person that keeps the momentum going, but learning what the room needs and then being willing to step in and go, I'm going to serve that role. We're stalling out here. Let's get something going, just try to create energy.
That's amazing.
And I think in that when you write, you see the way other people write. And so you're learning from them, like how to be melody. I would not say is my strong suit, but
Mhm.
every time I'm around those other writers who are brilliant with melody, I'm like taking note, like I would have gone somewhere totally different, but this is so much better. Um, and then some days, it's the lyrics, but you learn from everybody. And if you can learn where, like a multi instrumentalist, if you can play
Mhm.
10 instruments, you're going to have no trouble getting work. You know,
That's a good point.
if you can wear multiple hats in a writing room, I think you'll have no trouble being invited to, more and more writing rooms. And so I'm always learning by those that are big pub deal hit songwriters I've been fortunate to write with to people that are, new in town that I've written with.
Mhm.
We all have something to give and learn from each other.
Well, and I think I think that's so true. And then the biggest lesson too from all you just said too is, be. I think you have to. I don't know. I think you just have to be willing to put aside assumptions or like,
Mm,
I think sometimes I can feel like, oh, I have this great idea, and I have to remember to go hold it loosely. That might not be the great idea for today. You know, great, you have this idea, but that
mm.
may not be what's going to happen right
Yeah,
here.
and being willing to write something totally different than
Yeah.
what you really hope to write.
Yeah. And then make it
Um,
fun. Like,
yeah,
I don't know, even with myself, sometimes I'm like, I don't like where that's going.
yeah,
Or I have a friend I write with, and I'm writing solely for her and just her style and her genre. And we're very different. It's so funny because I'll go, just tell me, because I'm not, I don't want my ego getting in the way. I'm here to
yeah,
serve you.
yeah,
So you let me know if I'm going off down a wrong
yeah,
path. And then sometimes I'll try to push her a little bit, you know,
yeah.
like I'll go, I know you don't like rhymes, but we're going to rhyme right here. And
I,
she's like,
I
oh my gosh. And then she goes, okay, it works.
yeah, and I think we have to push each other's,
Yeah.
comfort zones too. That's how
Yeah.
we all get better, is to get outside your comfort zone and try it the different way, and just
Yep.
let's let it percolate for a minute. And
That's such a good word.
yeah, and I've had so many writes that went that way where I was kind of seeing it or hearing it one way, and then we ended up going the other route, and you get outvoted in the room or whatever, and then
Mm,
you're like, okay, guys, I was
okay.
totally wrong. Y'all were right. This is exactly what it should have been. But yeah, back to the park your ego. It's like we're all even hit songwriters today have their heroes.
Yes.
So we've all got people that we aspire to be more like, and so I try to go everywhere. And before we started recording, we are talking about just learning the lessons the hard way. I have been humbled in my life, so I try to just lead with humility and just I'm very fortunate to be here. I'm very thankful to be here,
Mhm.
and I'm thankful for all the opportunities that I've been given and the ones that I will continue to get. And I'm thrilled to be here. It was a lifelong dream come true just to get the chance to kind
Mhm.
of do it. And it for me it took losing virtually everything and just a sister that was just adamant about saying you need to get here and trusting it and rebuilding, 39 years of life, over the last
Mhm.
4 years.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I've been in the room with myself a lot, and growth and all of that. And I've said this before that I think music and songwriting has been so incredibly therapeutic for me.
Mhm.
After going through like a rough divorce, I took it hard. A lot of other things in my life that just all happened at the same time.
Mhm.
And so music's been I've gotten to say those things and compartmentalize that and put it away into a box called a song. And I
That's
can
great.
revisit. That's kind of the way I look at it. Is like every song is like an emotion that I can put on the shelf, and if I want to feel that again, I can play that song
Mhm.
and feel that emotion and then put it back on the shelf. And that's some people can do that internally. I can't. I feel like I've got to create with it. And I think that's what artists do. We create
Mhm.
with emotion.
Mhm.
What moves us, other people just absorb it and they can keep it tucked away. I've just never been that guy.
I love that visual of getting it out, putting it in the box, doing it, putting it in the box, putting it
Mm,
away, and then going, okay,
yeah.
I can visit that again because it's a great way to process
Mm,
through a lot of loss and hurt. And
mhm.
I relate to pretty much everything you just talked
Well,
about.
there's that joke about somebody's in therapy in every, room.
Mhm.
It's like who's going to be in therapy
Mhm.
and who's going to be the therapist, talking about wearing the hats. But yeah, I mean, I've been in
Oh my
many rooms
gosh,
where it's
right?
like, this is a chance for me to
Yeah,
get all this stuff out and put it into something creative. And knowing that if I feel this way, somebody somewhere feels
totally.
this. And if you write the song well enough, it appeals to even more people,
Mhm.
and then everybody can attach themselves to that emotionally. And then you've done your job. You've evoked emotion. And that's what I think at the end of the day we're trying to do is just share an emotion and have other people recognize it. I've lived that, I've felt that way, and then you've created, a commonality. And I think it's really, really cool how music does truly bring people together.
Mhm. I love what you said about being vulnerable enough to sit in it, whatever your pain
Mm,
is, and whether I've been through a lot of the same things. And then I had a sibling, my brother was the one who said, "Okay, it's time for you to go get your life now." And I was like, "What?"
love that.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
goes, "Go get your life."
yeah, go get it.
And I went, "Oh, okay." And I had to until I came here, I've been rebuilding. Um, but I love that because sometimes I
Isn't it
love
great?
the encouragement that you just said because I feel like as humans and all the feelings and all the stuff out in the world right now, and I feel like sometimes it just feels so loud with everybody putting their feelings everywhere. But when we can choose to be vulnerable and write something, and as you were saying, you write something and then you go out and perform it, somebody in there, whether it's the exact same thing or not, that emotion is going to be that connection to where they're
Mm,
sitting there and they go, "Gosh, I feel seen. I feel understood."
mm.
Um, like he went through something really bad. I can sit in this song and listen to it, and it's helping me not feel alone. And it's also helping me feel a little more healed through it
Yeah,
all.
absolutely.
So I love that, but it takes. I think I think people who put stuff out there are very brave.
Absolutely.
That I mean, honestly, it comes down to and and wow, gosh, what's that saying? Uh, Bravery isn't doing it with a lack of no.
Oh, yeah, courage is not
Oh
the
my
lack of
gosh.
fear.
Yes,
It's having the
doing it
yeah, yeah,
anyway.
yeah. It's a great
Yeah, right?
that's so true,
Wait,
yeah.
what did you just say? Courage
It's
isn't the lack of
courage.
fear.
Courage isn't the lack of fear, it's having fear but doing it
Yeah,
anyway. Something like that. But yes, basically
totally.
it's that, yeah, people don't do brave
Mhm.
things because there's lack of fear. They're
No.
doing it despite their fear. And that's
Yeah.
what creatives are doing, here in
Mhm.
Nashville. And there's a
Mhm.
lot of us and we're all chasing something again like bigger than ourselves and just feel that. I mean, it's not something I want to do, it's something I feel like I have to do
Yeah.
for my own mental health, my own wellness.
Mhm.
I've got to write. I've only been doing it here for 4.5 years, but I've been writing since the day I first learned three chords. I started writing about what I knew, and so it's something that I've just always turned to, is whether it be into song or just the written word. I love to just kind of journal and write. I post some stuff. I'll do like a long winded kind of where I'm at, a point in life. And I'm like, some people are not going to take the time to read this. That's fine, but it's out there. It's just kind of where I'm at. It's kind of my journal.
I was gonna say, but you do it for your I mean,
I
yeah,
kind
you're
for me,
doing
it's
it to
also
help, but
kind of
it's
getting
you're
this.
also I need a process.
I get to, yeah, it's a process,
Mhm.
and I kind of also get to keep that as like a public journal of kind of where I'm at in this career and where I'm at, emotionally, mentally, in this whole journey, because it's a lot to take in. And so your tribe is even more important because they're the ones that are going to help get you through those lows, and the ones that
Totally.
still keep you humble on the highs
Yeah.
and keep you in that balance of not too high, not too low. Just find you somewhere you can live comfortably. um
Well, and I like what you said a while ago about oh my gosh, rising tides.
Float all ships, yeah.
Cuz there's room for everybody.
Yeah,
Do your thing. We all have our own gifts.
yeah.
God created each of us uniquely and individually, but we can all come together and love one another.
um Somebody,
Serve one another, do all the things.
another friend of mine said that. He said it. Rising tides raise all ships, and he goes, and if your ship's not raising, you're in the wrong body of water. It's like if you feel like everybody else is rising around you, but you're not, you might not be in the right ocean. So maybe you're in the wrong ocean. So
Wow.
yeah, because I mean, if you're really in that supportive community and somebody else is succeeding ahead of you and opening up bigger doors, and they're not, mentioning you, and you know what I mean? I mean,
Mhm.
it's not to befriend people, and that's what's so weird. Like I cannot, I despise the word networking. It sounds so usury to me, but
Yeah.
it's like, well, I got to go out
Yeah.
to the bars and network, and I'm
Yeah.
like, it feels very usury. It's like I
Yeah.
just got to be seen so that when I need something, this person knows who I am. To me, there's nothing genuine about that, and I know what people are saying. I just don't like the word.
Yeah.
Never
I'm
liked
with
it.
you.
Um, like I want to go out to the bar. I want to go out to the bar and see people that I want to see. I don't
Hmm.
think of that as networking is such a corporate term.
Yeah.
I just want to go out and hang
Make
out
connection.
and meet people and make
Yeah.
connections. And the right ones will stick, and the ones that aren't meant to be won't. You can't make everybody happy, and not everybody's for each other. At a certain
Mm-mm.
point in life. And I think that's the one lesson I've learned after my 10 to 40 plus years is that some people are meant to be in your life for long periods, and some people are just a chapter. And like coming from a failed marriage, that was a chapter, but that wasn't the whole book.
Mm-mm.
And there's a lot of book left. So just recognizing that, I love very deeply, and some of my friends that I really care for know that I have their back through it. But I also know that there could come a day where some of those people aren't going to be around, because I've been through that once before in my
Yeah.
life. And so
That's
circumstances can
hard.
change things. It's very, very hard lesson to learn.
I think friend loss, well, okay, we can't compare. There's not comparison. Friend loss is a lot harder than I ever would have thought it would be.
Oh yes.
Is that a good way to put
Mhm.
it? You know, it's very it's a
Yep.
weird different than like a romantic loss.
Mhm.
The friend loss feels it's not worse or it's not worse, but it's just a different layer.
Yeah. I agree with you 1,000%. It's wrecked me and really hurt, some of the friendships I thought like
Mhm.
were forevers. And um, you know, but learning that, we're all on this journey of our own in life, and we're all trying to figure it out. And some people just aren't built for that where you're headed.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean you're going to a better place, you're just going to a different destination. And creators, a lot of us here in Nashville in music, we're all kind of chasing the same thing in some way or another. We might not, some of us are just chasing the song that's sung on the stage. Some people are chasing the circle at the Opry. um, but we're all chasing something really big, really big, and we're all probably scared to death along the way a lot of times. But
Mhm.
having the courage to just go, let's jump again. And the last landing was soft enough. I survived it.
Mhm.
And then I feel like you start taking bigger and bigger jumps because you've built up that tolerance to the fall.
Oh,
So
that's good.
yeah, I think there's something to that. Like I know for me at least, like, it was a marriage, it was a job. I was getting over. I'd gotten really bad into drinking and just changed a lot really quick. And it was just like overnight, my job, my marriage, that was all gone. Everything that I'd worked
Mm.
for 15 years of my career. And then coming here where I had a sister was the only person I really knew.
Mm.
And then just having the courage to just get out and dive in and just like they'll either like me or they won't, and just have that attitude. It's like some nights you're not going to be the favorite on that stage or in that round, and
Mhm.
that's okay. Some nights you will be. Some nights the room will shut up for you, and some nights they won't. You just take it as it comes at you because you just try to learn it as you go. You know,
Well, I'm impressed with your example of like just keep it on, keep doing it, show up,
yeah,
heal, do what you got to,
yeah,
because you've sounds like you've walked through a lot and had a lot of crossroads, and
yeah.
that's kind of what this is about. Like
Mm.
how do we walk through those and get through them? And I so appreciate you sharing walking through those and um, love your story of being here and finding your tribe and your graduating class and that was a big lesson that I have watched people go through and I'm learning about too is um I guess it's more like pay attention. That's my big thing now is okay, I need to pay attention to what God puts in my path today because
Hmm.
we might have these perceptions of what we think it might look like or what our little goals should be or who we want to get in the room with or whatever.
Mm.
And sometimes that's not attainable because everybody kind of forms, it's not clicky, it's you experience things together. So you form your tribe and y'all are doing life together and you're being
Mm,
vulnerable together and all the things.
mm,
And so I think that that's where you have to be brave to step out and find that. Not network it, but just go make the connections and then figure out how
mm.
that's going to work. And it seems like I think I read about your upbringing that like your faith has always been there. Your family is right there for you,
Yeah.
and I love that you came equipped with that. It sounds like,
Yes.
right, that you
Yes.
still have that strong family
I've got
support.
a great, amazing family, nieces, nephews, big family,
Mm,
and there's I think a lot of it too is like there's a part of me that feels like I need to do this for me, but also for them,
mhm.
especially like my nieces and nephews. Like if I could do anything over in life, I would have done this a lot earlier in life. Um, but I want to at least kind of try to be an example. Like it's okay to go after something that you've dreamed about doing, and it's not going to be easy, but go after it. There is no safe route. If there's anything I've learned, you can do all the right things, and it can all crash tomorrow. So there is no safe route. So like living with a safety net is a delusionary thought. So if
Truth.
there's a chance of falling, why not try to learn to fly? Along the way and enjoy the ride. So that's the way I at least try to approach it. Like I said, and some days it's tough. Some days I'm just tired. Work a full time job like so many other people do, and that's what I think a lot of people don't understand is like on social media, you see the easy fun parts. You don't see the nights of grinding and questioning yourself and all the work doing the admin, the marketing, and all the different hats you wear to try to create a brand for yourself. It's exhausting, and a lot of us are doing it as a secondary, you know, career that doesn't really pay you much. So it's all from love, and you're just after a like or a share, and those seem to be so hard to get, but people will like and share and follow and other people's stuff that they don't know. But I'm like, support the people that are going big. Back to the comparison. Like if you're not chasing something big and you know you're in your hometown and you've got a beautiful family and you do baseball and all, and that's the life and you love it. I'm not saying mine's any better, any worse. It's just different. But encourage those, you know. This If I'm going to take time to like and kind of try to engage, I feel like that's a very easy ask for all of us. It's to just help each other out, you know. And
So good.
sometimes that feels so hard to
I
do,
know.
but I don't know where it comes from. I think the people that are really taking a big swing at life or chasing a dream like this, they understand the value in it more than the people that have never really been very ambitious, um, and so they don't realize how hard it is.
Mhm. Well, and I
But we
think,
all do.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I think you're right, and people don't. So I'm just going to say this to whoever's listening. Um, Go follow, like,
Oh,
share
thank you.
your favorite people, please, because it means the world to the people who are creating it. So please support. Okay.
Yes.
Had to have that little PSA.
Yes.
Um, but I think people don't realize how important that is. And it's, as you said, it's not that your what we're pursuing as creatives is any better. It's just so different than I think the what we call the normal. We're used to it because we live in this environment.
Mhm.
It's everywhere. But people who don't live in this or they come to visit and they enjoy the music or they go enjoy anything that's out there and that's great and then they go back and they have their life and it's like um maybe they don't have an awareness of how important that is. That support is, and I use the hashtag a lot, support live music. Just go support, go be
Mhm.
out there, go listen, go share it, tell your friends, because that's how the creative life gets pushed forward. And for people who are doing that, plus another job to support it,
Mhm.
it means the world. I think that's
Yeah.
part of it too. It just means the world to go. It's not like anybody's sitting here going, "Oh, look how many people I have following me or how many
Mm.
likes I have." It's like, "Dang, I matter." Like that somebody watched. I put a lot of effort into that and
Mm.
somebody paid attention.
I've heard something really cool not too long ago, and it really puts things in perspective. Like, look at how many followers you got, and say you might have 1,000 followers.
Mhm.
How cool would it be to be playing to 1,000 people in a room?
Love that.
You would love that opportunity.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm just right around 5,000. Like playing in front of 5,000 people, my own songs would be amazing. And I'm doing that on social media. You are performing in front of a lot of people. Now the algorithm's so different, and I don't even get into that whole
I know. Yeah.
wormhole of
That could
social
be a whole
media.
different episode.
But they say like only 20% of your followers even see your
Yeah.
content, which seems,
Yeah.
80% is going to new. And it's like, well, I'm doing this for the people that are supporting me.
Yeah.
I want them to see it,
Yeah.
but they have to engage with you enough to tell their
Mhm.
algorithm, I want to see more of Collins' music. If I don't like anything and I don't
Mhm.
comment or whatever, the algorithm's just going to be like, brush me off to the side. So, like, if you're supporting your friends, you're going to know because they're in your
Yeah.
feed
Yeah.
because you're supporting them, they're supporting you, and you're seeing each other's content. And so I think that's a good reference to where you are. Like if you're not seeing some people, it's like because they're not engaging,
Yeah.
they're not supporting.
That's a
Um,
I'm glad you said what you did about supporting people because I think it's a good reminder. I think we all take social media for granted,
hmm
maybe, and just kind of do the mindless scroll and don't think about like what it really means to people out there trying to put their creations out there for them. Um, so I'm glad you talked about that, and I so appreciate you being willing to be vulnerable and share your heart to whoever's listening to encourage them, and you've given like really good wisdom. I know we talked about our
Learn
understanding
the hard
wisdom
way.
earlier.
Yeah, learn the
Learn the
hard
hard
way.
way, but but you're learning the hard way. I mean, look what it's done for you, and then you got to
Yeah.
come here, and whoever watches this is going to hear it, and especially um, for people who are living the dream, just to
Mm.
know somebody else is going through their thing.
I think you can boil it
So,
down to if you learn from it, it wasn't a mistake.
absolutely, that's a
If
great way to
you
put
if
it.
you learn something from whatever it is, then it's not a total loss because
Yeah.
you're gaining something. And when you're starting over later in life, you're not starting at the same starting line you did
Mhm.
at the beginning of your life because you've got a toolbox full of wisdom and street smarts and know-how. So you're starting with an advantage. So if the person, like, I want to speak to the people that feel like it's too late for them to start that business, to pursue music, acting, whatever it is. Just start. Just pick a day and start. It's never too late. Even at 40. I mean, I kind of came in with that mindset of like, it's not too late. I'm like, no, we're going to do this. And we're just going to go as far as we can for as long as we can.
Yep.
And where it goes, we're going to have fun. And so it's just go. Just get up and go.
Love that.
It's that easy, but it's also that hard.
That is a
Yeah.
good word.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, now I want to hear, I don't know what you're going to play,
Yeah.
but I want you to, so we're talking about writing and creating and getting out there and playing it. So you're going to do a song
Yep.
and I want to hear your story behind the song and what you're going to play for us and play us, and then we'll have you play us on out.
Yeah, I will. The song I kind of wanted to play today, written with a buddy of mine back in England named Joe Warren, and Joe is in the process of getting his work visa to come to the U.S. full time. Great songwriter, really cool guy. But I was headed home one day, and I'd been thinking about my grandfather who passed away many years ago. Um, but he took care of my grandmother as she was dying from Alzheimer's, and that's a
Mm.
really slow, terrible thing to watch. but he never really got assisted help from the nurses. Like he just manned up in his late 80s and just did it. And we're all just like, how? Got very, very little help until the end. Um, and I just saw the way a man is supposed to love his wife. And it was a really incredible example. So I was thinking about him that day. And then on the way home, I saw a yard sale sign at the beginning of the neighborhood. And I guess the two thoughts just collided. And somewhere in my mind, I started thinking about this yard sale that I meet an older man, and he starts talking about, his belated wife. And Joe came over, I think a day or so later, and I just kind of threw the idea. I was like, this is going to be like really deep storytelling. I was like, I don't know if that's your thing. He's like, I love it. Let's go. And so we just started writing it, and we had a lot of fun with it. And then it's just one that I feel like when you come into town, you write and you play these new songs. But when you have people that you admire that are doing this for a living, living the life that you're kind of aspiring for, when they're coming over to you going, that's a great song. That's a great song. Those compliments mean a lot. And this is probably like the first song I felt like got a little maybe attention, or at least demanded a little more respect or another look at. I was very fortunate to write it, and it's just a song that I just think is, people say it's sad. I think it's just a beautifully sweet, tender song about an old man just really loving his wife and not having her anymore. And that's kind of where it was written from, because I saw that my grandfather was never the same after my grandmother.
Mm.
He was just different. He was a lot quieter than he already was. And so those last 8 years with him were different, because he was lonely. He missed his wife. So, anyways, that's kind of where it all came from. So, but it's called "Everything Must Go." Saw that sign, and I turned down the street. Two sticks and poster board, barely big enough to read. And I've seen my share of yard sale signs. Most times I just drive on by. But I guess this one got a hold of me. So I woke up at 6 a.m., grabbed some cash from the coffee can, and I walked up and I shook the hand of a sweet old man. He said, son, it's bittersweet, but I'm thankful that you came. Ever since she passed away, I ain't been the same. He had 60 years of marriage spread out across the lawn, from china plates to pictures framed of them when they were young. And he said, all this means nothing without her hand to hold, 'cause now my everything is gone, so everything must go. I came across a dusty shoebox. It was full of memories. The pair of faded Broadway tickets from 1953. And he grinned and said, I'll be damned. It's the night that she said yes. He said, son, you should have seen her there, as he held up her wedding dress. He had 60 years of marriage spread out across the lawn, from china plates to pictures framed of them when they were young. He said, all of this means nothing without her hand to hold, 'cause now my everything is gone, so everything must go. There's 2 tickets in a picture frame. They're hanging on my wall. He gave them to me, and he thanked me for that talk. He had 60 years of marriage spread out across the lawn. From china plates to pictures framed of them when they were young. He said all of this means nothing without her hand to hold. 'Cause now my everything is gone. Son, I can't take it, and the good Lord calls me home. So everything must go. Everything must go.